And welcome to a new Energy Crew podcast. Me, your host, JP Warren. Today, I'm going to tie in a crew club roundtable that we had recently up in Fort Worth, where Gavin Fluke, the drilling manager for Jetta Operating, led a fantastic conversation. And it was a great conversation because it's very timely what's going on in the oil and gas industry right now. I mean, the topic that he provided was, what does collaboration between operators and oilfield service companies look like for mutual success? And it was a fantastic roundtable, and it was very timely because previously, about 3 weeks before, I was a panelist or moderator, or panelist, whatever, on the IDC AED Houston Joint Luncheon. And one of the things that was brought up is, as this industry is coming towards, low cost, bottom of the barrel pricing, and it seems like a lot of operators right now are not making low cost decisions anymore. So what does a true collaboration look like in this industry right now? What does it look like in 2025 and moving forward? Again, this is one of those things where I'm calling this out because collaboration is a buzzword that a lot of people like using. It reminds me of several other buzzwords that a lot of companies come out, whether it's disruptor, innovation, efficiencies. It's a buzzword that's kind of floating around this industry right now. But what does it actually mean? But first, we're going to dive into kind of the case study that Gavin provided, the roundtable. And before we do, I want to thank the sponsors for this podcast, Liberty Drilling Services. I also want to thank the access pass holders who were at the table in Fort Worth when Gavin was leading. That's Mesa Natural Gas Solutions. That's Liberty Drilling Services, Dryas Command, and Fortis Energy Solutions. And pretty much how it kind of got kicked off is that Gavin had a very interesting success story last year. So pretty much, let me paint a little context. So we're at the table. Gavin decides to get this kicked off. And what does actually a true collaboration look like? Jetta Operating is a smaller kind of company. So their program isn't as robust as a lot of companies are. Not a lot of companies, it's not as robust as some of the bigger companies, whether it's Diamondback, whether it's Chevron, and bigger companies like that. And so he was kind of faced with the challenge that his program really wasn't calling a lot of services out. However, it was needed because I think there was about 5 wells or 8 wells or something like that they had to drill. Anyway, I may be getting the details wrong, but the point is this. Gavin reached out through his relationships. And again, that's a key part about this industry is relationships. Because I think without this relationship previously existing, it probably would have progressed the way it went. But anyway, he's driving down to Houston one afternoon. He's got this program coming up. It's not as robust program, a lot of different companies out there, but he decides, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call my buddy, colleague at NextTier, and just kind of pitch the idea of like, hey, listen, I got this selected number of wells coming up, and I want to do this, I want to do that. What does it look like for y'all to work with us when it comes to kind of bundling all these services? And also, what would it look like when it comes to bonuses, payment, alignment, stuff like that? And in a true collaborative form, NextTier, Patterson, Altera, again, I want to give a shout out to them because he was just singing their praises about how they worked, how they kind of came to the table and thought of the new and innovative kind of approaches to help Jetta Operator Gavin's problem that he had kind of in front of him. Anyway, it was a great collaborative discussion. All of the service companies and Jetta at the table discussing from the beginning what they're trying to do, why they're trying to do this, what expectations they have, and everyone was on board. Not only that, I think Gavin actually handed off a lot of the control to the service companies to lead the meetings, to talk about what's going on, the next steps and all that stuff. So anyway, it was a fantastic roundtable discussion that lasted probably about 4 hours. And at the end of it, it's really showcased the true potential of authentic collaboration. And what does that mean, authentic collaboration? Again, collaboration is a big buzzword. This industry is no longer in a low cost environment. Yes, cost is king. It's always going to be king. However, there was one crew club roundtable we had where Alex McDonald gave this great statistic that 40% of operators still make decisions based off of low cost. And from those 40% of decisions, 70% of those operators have to come back to the table and kind of pay out of pocket for these decisions that are made based on low cost. And so what does this mean? So what does this? This means that the days of low cost, the day of bottom barrel going after jobs and all that stuff is kind of getting outdated. It's not really strategic. It's not really long-term. It's a great way to turn, if you're a service company, it's a great way to turn your customers into junkies when you're always offering those low-cost deals or Q4 off-the-shelf specials. But in the true essence of collaboration, this industry is shifting more towards a long-term approach. So what does that actually look like in collaboration from the service side, but especially the operators? I'm talking to you operators right now. All right. This is going to be a true collaborative form, the way that Gavin kind of discussed. Anyway, going back to Gavin, nailed it, kicked it out of the park. Not only that, both companies did very well when it came to building, generating revenue. Both companies were aligned with the end goal. Both companies were aligned, and Gavin was very just singing them praises about kind of how they came to the table to work with them. And from that, it was a conversation that he kind of wanted to have around the table. What does it look like for collaboration moving forward? One thing that Gavin says is if you want true partnership, you've got to start guarding your plan like it's top secret and inviting others early to make it better. So think about that. A lot of times, service companies are thinking that, we're looking for partners, we're looking for collaborative partnerships and all that stuff. However, I see personally, I'm going to kind of walk through what it looks like on the service side, but especially the operator side, of what true collaboration looks like in today's environment, also what that looks like moving forward. So number one, what is collaboration? Collaboration isn't a lunch and learn. It's not a pitch deck. It's not just, you putting out LinkedIn material saying, we like collaborating with customers and all that stuff. Collaboration is truly getting everyone who is active in the operations at the table before it even starts and having these conversations. And one thing that we talked about around the table, it was one in Houston. Kate Hyken was leading discussion about this too. It's the concept of we need to understand the why. So when service companies are going to the table and talking to operators, understand, sure, they want wells drilled fast, they want wells drilled cheap, they want, production going on XYZ. But what does it truly mean? Why this company is actually doing that. So having the vendor truly understand the why of the company, of the operator. And this is a key thing too. We had another crew club event where it's very interesting. We had a couple of private operators at the table. We had some independents. We had some super majors at the table. It's very interesting hearing the different whys of each company, of each operator. Why this company selects this service company, why this company selects this, what value do they put, whether it's price, predictability, reliability. So it's very interesting to understand the whys of every single operator out there. And that being said, it's up to the service companies and the operators to understand the why. So what does that mean? That means service companies need to start having better conversations. That's asking better questions. That's truly understanding, yeah, sure, they want to drill a well, but why are they trying to drill the well this way? Are they trying to make this fast, clean, whatever that looks like? So it's up to the service companies to truly understand and kind of ask the right question to understand why this operator is doing it this way. And as an operator, it truly is up to you for having the service companies come to the table and inviting them to the table to have those conversations on what's going on. Because here's what's happening. Number one, service companies are stuck in this, we want to collaborate. However, constantly pitching the same solution to kind of an unknown problem, right? Service companies probably need to start changing their conversations versus selling at things that worked previously, or maybe just kind of coming in and saying, you're picking up a rig, you need, this, you need this, you need this. Maybe having these conversations a little bit before you want to throw in that bid or throw in kind of that ask for the work. Again, it's having these conversations. Oh, but JP, I can't. Operators don't meet with me. I totally get that. And operators, this is for you now. A lot of times, we're sitting around the table having these conversations, and one operator kind of brought this up. I thought it was a great call. He's like, you know what? As operators, we are so we have a lot of ego in front of us. You know what I mean? We're operators. We make the right decision all the time. We don't let anyone kind of tell us like what our decision is, what it is. We don't like releasing control. And he said something I thought was completely beautiful. He said, the thing is, why wouldn't we start trusting the service companies a little bit more? Why wouldn't we start asking the service companies for their input? Because here's the reality of this. Service companies, they have the opportunity, and kind of they're in a cool position to see multiple different operators in multiple different basins. And what does that mean? That means they might have a better idea to do this, to drill a well the way that you wanted to, and you might not even thought of that. I know that historically, not even historically, till today, operators, and this isn't just operators, but for the sake of this podcast, operators have a shallow network pool, right? Again, this isn't for all operators, but majority of operators aren't going out. They're not going to conferences, not going to lunches, because every time they go, they feel like they're chumming the water. It's always these pitches, always these surface transactional conversations. It really doesn't go anywhere. So as an operator, really, the effort is on you to actually start making time for making space, learning about the service company that you might use, that you might not use. So again, getting out of your office to take on lunches, to play that golf round, to maybe learn a little bit more, visit a shop, and kind of get to understand the vendor or the service companies that you may be using would benefit you more, and just to build that trust, right? You can't have true collaboration without trust. And that's just a great way to build trust, just get to know the person a little bit more. That might mean 2 to 3 more lunches, but again, you're knowing that person a bit more, so you can trust a little bit more, so you can truly begin to collaborate and start kind of offloading maybe some decisions. So what this is, and again, I personally believe that this collaboration movement will start on the operator side. Operators to invite service companies to the table, operators to kind of do things that might be uncomfortable. They might be going to meet a stranger for lunch and kind of getting to know them, maybe know their product a little more. It might be going to a shop tour and kind of just learning a little bit more, putting your hands on the equipment and talking to the people about that, right? And as an operator, you're kind of in a unique position because you can ask these service companies, hey, what have you seen that actually works? What we're trying to do, this is our why. We're trying to do this because of X, Y, Z, right? What have you seen that could get us X, Y, Z? Really kind of dropping the walls and trusting the service company to have everyone's kind of best interests on the table can bring a lot of great results to your operations, right? And that means, again, if you're a leader as an operator, or maybe you are about to, pick up a rig or something like that, that's really you getting out of the office, taking that effort, taking that time, and getting to know your service provider a little bit more. All right. We're in a hyper-connected yet very disconnected world. That's one of the reasons why I started Crew Club. This is one of the reasons why I started kind of these professional development groups and that the school communities that I have, because I'm trying to get people out of their shells to connect with people on a more beneficial level. And again, if you are a service company, when you do have time with these operators, enough with the whole pitching and convincing and having the same BS conversations. Your buyer behavior has changed. The market has changed. How they get their information has changed. So why are you having the same conversations you had 7-10 years ago, right? Again, adding more value, understanding more. And again, this isn't you filling in the silence with banter about fishing, golf, hunting, or whatever that is. It really is them filling in the silence by you asking the right questions and them really kind of talking to you. So you really kind of connect the dots and find out what might be the best course of action moving forward. All right. And again, trust is built through consistency. It's built through repeatability. It's not built around that low price thing. So again, if you are out there and you're thinking that low price is our strategy, that's not going to be a good strategy for a long-term game. Right now, operators are not looking at their assets as to punch holes in the ground and flip it in 2 years. I think that those glory days are a little bit behind us. Right now, operators are looking at their assets more of on a long-term scale, their inventory in a long-term scale. We're actually going to have a conversation about this with Jeff Krimmel in Houston in about 2 weeks. So to kind of wrap this up, it was really cool hearing how both companies, whether it's, Jetta, the companies they were using, how they actually truly came to the table before this all started. And through the power of true collaboration, right? Let's work on this together, but also the relationship side of things. Gavin is very good at meeting people, getting to know them, understanding kind of what's going on and who's going to use. I encourage a lot of operators out there, if you are listening, to take that lunch, to go out there, take that shop tour. I know things might be busy right now. I know you don't want that other pitch or anything like that, but hey, that's part of your job. And if you do want the best results, get to know the people that you're going to be working with, invite them to the table, ask for their opinion, ask for their advice, and see kind of what happens there. All right. And you're going to quickly know if you can lean on them, if you can't lean on them. But chances are, hopefully, you build up enough of the relationship where you can lean on them. All right. So again, true collaboration leads to what? Number one, less rework. You don't have to go back to the problem, right? You don't have to go back to solving a certain issues. Faster ramp up. Everyone understands why. We understand why we're out here, right? We're not understanding what we have to do. Here's the list of instructions what you have to do. We understand why, right? More innovation. When you have people around the table talking about the why, it's really cool to kind of have operators, vendors start spitballing ideas out there. So again, you can grow based on collaborative solutions. Again, you have shared wins. If you can align your goals, operator, vendor side of the aisle, where both of you are going after the not exact same goal, but same direction, same target, it's going to be an alignment of both companies winning. So again, here's a little call to action. If you're an operator out there, ask yourself, Are you setting the stage for collaboration? Are you just saying we want collaborative partners? Or are you actually doing more to set the stage for true collaboration, which is kind of opening up for conversations, lunches, or are you just kind of expecting it after the fact, right? Think about that. Are your collaborative efforts happening when they should, which is before the project even kicks off? Are they happening after the fact? And again, if you're a service provider, ask yourselves, are you bringing insights? Or are you just kind of bringing offers? You bringing deals? You bringing, I want this work. Let's get on location. So again, what insights and value are you bringing? And if value is one of those key buzzwords going around, dive into actually what your true value is. I help people at Connection Crew with this. Again, so I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in to the Energy Crew podcast. If you're out there, we have some excellent roundtables coming up this Thursday. We have Sean Wynn, the EVP of Black Swan up in Oklahoma City, talking about AI and private equity. Then we're headed to Houston. We have Jeff Krimmel talking about how North America has pivoted to more of a long-term game. And then we're headed over to Midland. We have Mary Brandon, the senior completion engineer for Birch Resources, leading one about kind of from new ways to kind of a complete well. So I'm excited about all these conversations. Thank you for tuning in to Energy Crew Podcast. Again, start your collaboration conversations early. Operators, open up that space. Vendors, don't just be there to sell. Don't be there to pitch. Be there to understand, learn, and actually contribute. All right. So I wish everyone out there to get out there, stay connected, stay lifting each other up. And thanks for tuning in Energy Crew. We'll talk to y'all soon.